Hi, it's Wes Moss. Question for you. Have you ever heard of a midlife crisis that's actually good? Well, the concept is actually called the virtuous midlife crisis, and it's something that baby boomers are all about in this world we live in today, with 3.6 to 4 million baby boomers retiring every single year in America. Sounds like a lot of virtuous midlife crises maybe there and about. I have with me today Kristen Curcio, who's a contributor to one of my favorite writers that contributes to wesmoss.com. And she just wrote about the virtuous midlife crisis. So Kristen, tell me about this. I'm wondering, it sounds like I almost want to have one of my own midlife crises that's virtuous. What does it mean? What's going on? And how did you find this topic?
Sure.
Are you going through a midlife crisis?
No, I don't think I am, but you never know. It could start tomorrow, maybe. So I found out about the concept by an article in the Wall Street Journal called the Virtuous Midlife Crisis.
Yes.
And it's about how, well, what do you think about when you think about a midlife crisis?
Yeah, I think it's amazing that you still think about motorcycles. That's like the number one thing.
Totally.
Motorcycle, or
Right.
like a red car, like a sports car, leaving of the wife, running off with the secretary.
The trophy person.
Yeah, that's the connotation of a midlife crisis. Is no good connotation whatsoever.
No, there's not. And really, for the baby boomer generation, that's what it looked a lot like. But apparently for our more generation, like Gen Xers, or I know you're kind of on the cusp.
Oh, okay. So this is not about baby boomers having virtuous midlife crises.
No.
This is what is Gen Xers?
Yep, where we are right now.
Oh, that's right. Gen
Yep.
Xers are now midlife.
Yep, exactly,
Or midlife.
exactly.
Okay.
But it looks a lot different insofar as it looks like a healthy midlife crisis. So people are making, they're making
What's an
plans to
example?
go do,
What's an
like
example?
they're going on yoga retreats, or they're doing different cleanses, or they're going to a place where they're going to drink green juice all week long. Stuff like
So they're
that.
not going
Yeah.
to Vegas to party
No.
in a new sports car and a motorcycle. They're going to a resort in, it makes me think of Maribel, like a resort in Arizona.
Yep.
And they're going to drink chambuca
Right.
and do yoga. Wow. And
Or maybe,
hike.
hike the
Detox.
Appalachians. Exactly, detox.
So what is then your favorite version of, like, if you were, let's say you were going through a virtuous midlife crisis, what would you go do?
Well, I think anything healthy works. It's the point that it's being healthy and not unhealthy. But a big reason for this is because a lot of us have had children a little bit older. And so instead of the baby boomers that were looking at seeing their kids, graduate from high school when they were in their maybe early 40s or even late 30s, a lot of us are seeing our children graduate from high school when we're in our mid to later 40s. And so we want to be well for them. We want to keep ourselves well for them, and then grandchildren and whatnot. So
you're right. I think that it is, and I have little kids, and I mean, I'm in my 40s, and I have a 3-year-old, right, turning 4 relatively soon. But you're right. I will be much older when he's in college, graduates college, than my dad was. My dad had me when he was 23.
right.
When I got out of college, I mean, he was like a 40-some-year-old guy, and it was. But you're right. Our generation, Gen X, and then even the millennial generation, we're going to be a little bit older, so we almost need to have some sort of virtuous getting healthy crisis, if
Absolutely.
you will, or I don't know if it's a crisis, but I do think that there's more and more thought about health and wellness in America. I mean, than there's ever been, and you can see it in the shares of popular food companies. I think that Americans certainly know that they need to get healthy.
Yep.
What spurred this for you? Like, did you?
Well, I read the article and I thought it was so interesting. And since it's my generation, I thought this would be great to write about. I'm sure a lot of people would find this super interesting. And then actually there was a follow-up article that they did because they had so many people write in about it that people started to share their own stories of what they're doing, which is great.
Virtuous midlife.
And I think the other part of it too is that we're hearing more and more people who are younger that are getting sick earlier. And so I think it's causing a lot of alarm bells in all of our minds. Like, we really need to do our bodies right and exercise and eat well and do all those things for us. So, and in my past life, I was also a health coach, and so this spoke to me a lot more also because of that.
I didn't know you were a health coach. Well, I almost, maybe I did that a couple years. Remember about a year and a half ago, I did the whole 30
You
thing.
did.
Maybe that was my midlife virtuous crisis,
Yeah.
my midlife crisis that was virtuous. I started eating very differently,
Right.
which was hard to change. I mean, after 40 years of eating terribly, I got to a point where I couldn't, I could get away with it in my 20s and,
Right.
and even my 30s, but as I got older, I couldn't get away with it anymore. And I started to, the same meal that I used to eat at 22 or 25, at 40 was making me feel terrible, and I was starting to really gain a lot more weight. So I changed my diet pretty dramatically.
And now you eat like that all the time.
Now I just stuck with it.
It's
So it
just
was like
a-
a crisis, but I stayed with it.
It's a habit.
So I'd love to hear from you. If you're watching this video, have you ever heard of this topic, and like what would be a great midlife crisis that's virtuous for you? I'd love to see it in the comments. I'd love for you to share what your thoughts are about this. If you think it's crazy, would you rather just still go to Vegas and have like an old school midlife crisis, or do you want a virtuous one? Does that sound fun? Which one? But love to hear from you. Thanks for watching West Money Matters. Thank you to Kristen Curcio, and I hope you have a profitable rest of your day. I hope you found this video helpful. There are lots of other videos on this page that'll help you be a happy retiree. Just hit subscribe right below this video. You can find us or follow us at Wes Moss Money Matters on Facebook or Instagram, Wes Moss Money Matters, and Twitter at WesMoss365. Thank you so much.